So this is part two to the 9/11 piece, and back to the tech roundtable hosted by Chamath. What they're doing by pledging a certain amount of money to the President of the United States is fleshing. It's a lot like private equity. They're fleshing out these ideas that they have that don't really exist. No one's really sure if server farms the size of cities really achieve what they think is a given, which is this idea of conscious AI, general AI, where the AI just feeds itself like a god. But what I'm trying to get to is the structure, because yesterday Scott Lutnick of Cantor Fitzgerald, who lost hundreds of people from his company on 9/11. And of course, he wasn't there, and there's conspiracies about that. But he, in the middle of the interview on CNBC, he really explains what the Trump administration has done is this. They put tariffs on the world and ran around and got pledges of capital, hundreds of billions of dollars. And the implication is that if you don't give us the money, we will, on the equity side, they're restructuring both the equity and the debt. If you don't give us the equity, we will leave the tariffs in place and blow up your economy. And because we're the biggest consumption economy, we can do that to Germany and Japan and Korea, and to a lesser extent China. Let's leave China out of it and let's all calm down. They're building a giant SPAC. America is now a SPAC. It's an empty fund structure that nobody knows what the outcome or what the revenue or what the cash flow looks like. And they did the same thing on the debt side. You can go read the paper. I've spent a lot of time on TikTok and also on this platform talking about it. The Moran paper says, if in any way you try to escape American assets willfully, either the dollar or the US Treasury, we either will tariff you, not pay the interest, tax the interest, or another way harm your economy. So this is like, you've heard of reconnaissance in force. This is like a SPAC in force. Now, if you've heard this reconstruction thing from me for the last couple of years, what I'm suggesting is the opposite. That as we see that this kind of finance is really doomed, it's a kind of imperial desperation. And it's literally a kind of violence. If you remember the interview, it was one of the Becky Quicks or people from CNBC sat down with Warren Buffett, who I now think is like 96, and what do you think about tariffs? And he gets his little Omaha grin on and says, well, these are like an act of war. That's how you should think of this, people. And I know you're sick of hearing it, but this is the end of the Gone with the Wind. This is the moment where we have slaves, cotton, and arrogance finally comes to an end. So what comes next through all this, though, and this has also been one of the major themes here, and even I think the foreign minister of Russia last week said, America's just going to restructure itself into crypto. Have you heard that before? America's just going to fall into this soup of liquidity that you and I right now call stable coins. It will advance into things like tokenization of ETFs, tokenization of stocks, tokenization of real world assets. So lastly, if you'd really like to engage, I mean, if these things seem like they're all coming together all at the same time, I would say I agree with you. there is economic opportunity here. It's not all navel gazing and doom and gloom and long walks with weighted vests, because these things get heavy after 45 minutes. There's really no structure, asset management, or even a digital asset manager in existence right now. If you'd like to work on this together, I'm here.